Hello everyone, my name is Mario and I'm going to be talking to you today about vaccines, and my main claim is that anti-vaxxers are clouding the truth of vaccine safety. I'm going to be doing this by talking to you about 3 different points. The first is that the main article that linked vaccines to autism has been retracted. The second is that the celebrities leading this movement have no background to state what they're saying. And the third is that there are no lethal ingredients in vaccines whatsoever, and even if there is not enough to actually harm a child. So, just a little bit of background. In 1998, there was an experiment done by a Dr. Andrew Wakefield where he concluded that there was a link between children who got vaccinated and their development of autism. So, this brings me to my first point, which is that since the article's publishing, there have been numerous studies that have not been able to reproduce Dr. Wakefield's or the former Dr. Wakefield's findings, and it has also been discovered that Wakefield has also falsified his data because he was being paid by companies to give this information so that way they could make money. And the third fact is that he only used a sample of 12 children, and at what point do 12 children represent humanity as a whole? This brings me to my second point, which is that celebrities do not have the scientific background or professional knowledge to make claims on the anti-vaccination. Now, the lead celebrity for this movement is Jenny McCarthy, who had a child with autism symptoms already within him. She had him vaccinated, and then his autistic symptoms developed even further. And she went online and looked at Google, and we all know how reputable the internet is. She decided that since she found a website of parents who had children with the same issues, that, you know what, this is a link, and Dr. Wakefield, despite being discredited and having his license revoked from the board, this is all true. And she's been quoted this saying, "To me, Google is one of the most incredible breakthroughs that we have today. Yes, it can scare a lot of patients thinking we're all dying because we looked something up on Google, but there's also a lot of anecdotal information from parents, first-hand accounts of what they did for their own child." And that just doesn't add up to, okay, well, this was done by, there have been many other experiments done by doctors in labs that prove that what she is saying is wrong, and she is still saying this to this day because that article was published in, I believe it was April of this year. And this brings me to my third point, which is that there are no lethal ingredients in any vaccines, contrary to many anti-vaccine claims, because a while back when the first study first came out, it was discovered that there was an ingredient called ethyl mercury inside vaccines, and people felt that this was the mercury that was inside thermometers and all that was known to cause issues in children, but it has been proven that ethyl mercury is different from the mercury that is inside thermometers, which is more commonly known as methyl mercury. Also, there was an issue with a recalling of those vaccines because doctors did not want to make a panic about having mercury, and so they recalled those vaccines to make them quote-unquote safer, but that just ended up backfiring and has since been proven that it was just a bad call on doctors to recall those. And this has all happened in 1998 and has since been attempted to correct, but people just still refuse to accept it. So, in summary, anti-vaxxers are clouding the truth of vaccine safety, and I prove this by studying Dr. Wakefield's article in The Lancet and explaining how celebrities do not have the technical background or professional knowledge to make claims on anti-vaccination, and by also explaining how there are no lethal ingredients within any vaccines. Thank you.
All right, the biggest issue that I see here is that I'm not sure that there's a lot of controversy. In essence, the respondents, you're almost forcing them into the position of resisting the truth. I don't think anybody doubts the safety of the vaccines. Now, there might be other issues related to vaccination where there is a dispute, but on the safety issue, except for the people that you've termed anti-vaxxers, which I have no idea how large a movement that is, how many people are involved. As far as I know, it's just Jenny McCarthy. That's all. That's the only example that I'm given. That they're the kind of people that refuse to acknowledge the truth of research that's being presented. I don't think that it's incumbent on the respondent to have to try and prove something that is factually untrue. So where is the controversy on this? The controversy is what impact the anti-vaxxers and others are having on vaccination rates. And I didn't hear any information that talked about that, only that there's this information out there that continues to be perpetuated, primarily by Jenny McCarthy, apparently, that is inaccurate. But I didn't hear any information that said that people are confused because of this, that people are influenced in listening to Jenny McCarthy, that there are thousands of websites that have been promulgated that are passing this information on, and parents are refusing to get their children vaccinated. There's not even a discussion of what the consequences of not being vaccinated are, so I think there's a problem finding where there is dispute on this issue. It was nicely organized and very easy to follow. I do think that you need to cite your information a little bit more. I don't doubt that everything that you said is probably accurate, but I don't know where it comes from. The one thing about Jenny McCarthy continuing to say this apparently comes from April this year, which is the month that we happen to be in, but I don't know what publication that was found in or on what website we can look and see that information is true. And all the other information is not cited at all. I think you do a pretty good job speaking to the audience. Like I said, I'm not sure that there's any problem with your evidence in convincing us that the vaccinations are not demonstrably related to autism in particular. I think that that's pretty reasonable, given the criticism of the one study that you presented. All right, that's it. Thank you.